Meet us at the tavern, have a drink or two. I'm the eclectic goat, and I'm here to play with you. We'll discuss the theory and the mechanics, how we ask for crits, Dungeons and Dragons and Wizards.
And good evening. How is everyone? We have Eraserhead already in the chat. Super mod that he is.
I've got my thumb up.
All right. I'm so used to technical difficulties at this point that I kind of am startled to discover that we're actually up and running on time. So,
Good.
These things
intros.
happen.
I know, right? Sammy's my good luck charm.
Next week, so.
All right, so tonight I have the real life fake wizard. I have Azar, and I have Sammy Threepeat, my co-host for In Other News. He is new to gaming, but very familiar with everyone on YouTube. Azar is new to YouTube and has been gaming longer than many of you have been alive. So, everyone want to go around and just give a little summary of your history with gaming and how you ended up here and regretting it.
Who do you want to start with? Me?
Yeah, Wizard's good.
Sammy? Guys, I'm the real life fake wizard here on YouTube, mostly covering entertainment commentary stuff, a lot of business angled content, but I actually got my start in content creation talking about things like Dungeons and Dragons and TTRPG stuff. I did that on TikTok for a few years, ended up getting away from TikTok, and I found my place here on the YouTube where I do all the other things. I have a lot of emotions and feelings with Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro and Dungeons and Dragons. I talk about that every so often. Feel very, very passionately about that. So passionately that I ended up making my own game that I started developing at the top of 2023. And we launched it in June of 2024. Soft launched it. It's called Pretend, with the intent of kind of getting away from the nitty-gritty rules and creating more of a storytelling generator that lets players roleplay more freely than they do in some of the other games. And I know that there are plenty of other games that some might even be better than mine that are just as creative. So that's pretty exciting. Happy to be here. This is going to be, I feel like we're going to have a lot of good discussion.
Yeah, don't even get me started about the Wizards of the Coast thing. I can rant about that for hours.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Azar,
Hey, all right. So
tell us
I'm
about how
Azar.
you've been gaming since dirt. Uh-oh, hang on a second.
Oh, did I go away?
Hang on.
Azar's been fired.
There we go.
My
And
bad.
Try-
rehired.
There we go.
Outstanding.
For some reason, this system really hates him. It keeps just, like, shutting him out.
Well, it's equipment smarter than operator, so it's probably all on my end. So I'm all right. Hey, I don't do any YouTube, so I have a face made for radio. So I guess this is probably a good venue for me right now, as is. And I started gaming, back in the early '80s. So if that dates me, there you go. Started with D&D, the classic red box, with the artwork by Larry Elmore on the front, and I just kind of grew from there. And I've been a GM for, I don't know, I did about 15 years worth of GMing until I got a real job and a life and a wife and, that sort of thing. And I spent a lot of time running D&D second edition, first edition, and I spent a lot of time doing Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, so with the brutality of that system. So I've got a pretty good mix. I was even a playtester for Tom Kane, if anybody knows Tom Kane and all the modules he's made for FASA and Ars Magica and Cyberpunk and
Yeah, Tom is one of the originals. I every so often I have to show people the things that he's done for like GURPS and like that, and they go, "Oh, that guy."
right, exactly. GURPS China. And because what is he? He's a social anthropologist or something
I
like that.
I
So
I don't even know.
China.
He's smarter than me. We'll just stick with that.
Right, right, and I feel stupid just for being in the same room as he is. But anyway, so no, I'm kind of old school traditional gamer, and you browbeat me to come on here because I don't know, you needed a warm body and a happy face. So there you go.
So many jokes about your icon there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right, Sammy.
Yeah, I played all the classics as a kid. Sorry, Candyland, um, Monopoly.
Stratego.
Yeah, Stratego. Can't forget about that. No, you know what? I've never had the time to. Well, I've had the time. I was always more of a video gamer. But I never knocked it. I always figured it'd be something that I got around to eventually, and it only took me till my mid-30s. So. But we're here. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed playing Numenera with you. I, I enjoyed it playing Dice Throne. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. But it always seemed to be something that I was kind of like gravitated to. But finding people to do it with when you're really not in that circle and.
And then finding people who do it right.
Yeah, and it
Which
was
is
like
really
I
hard.
never wanted to be that guy who like brought the game over to the party and they're like, "No, dude, we're gonna play beer pong, and that's what we're gonna do." And
Sounds like college all over again.
All right.
yeah,
but
no,
like,
that's really kind of how it feels. And or what are you doing? We told you to bring your controller. We're playing Smash Brothers, and it was like, but I kind of want to try this. And so I'm glad for the opportunity. Thank you.
that's awesome.
We'll make him a hardcore gamer here in no time.
I'm not
Okay, Wizard, you said that you're building your own game, and it's called Pretend, as I recall, because we are Pineapple and
Yes.
Pretend tonight.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's participants realize emotions through empathic narrative dynamics, or pretend for short. And it's the idea of, like I was saying before, and it's funny because Sammy, your story there, it's like, can I just bring Dungeons and Dragons or like to the beer pong party? It's like, that is fun as heck. I've done that, and like I've run D&D games where it's like a full crowd of people, but they have to all overcome obstacles that I would throw at them, and having them drinking and everything, it is a ton of fun. And like I want to create more games like that don't have the stupid rules associated with so many of the other games. I anytime it's like oh well, does a 19 hit or does an 18 hit? That's boring for me now. That it slows things down. People are more likely to look at their phones. There's a gap of interaction there, and so yeah, I wanted to create something that was a little more engrossing for everybody, and it's been fun. It's been fun.
You have mentioned on a few of your streams that you tend to be the kind of guy who bores easily.
Oh my god, I was playing a game last night, and I have the attention span of a flea. So I have ADHD. So it's all very hard for me to focus on being a player. Whereas I do my best when I'm a game master because I'm constantly integrated. But if I'm a player,
That makes sense.
oh, it's so hard to stay focused because I just don't care. But like that's not nice, but I just don't care. So with this show that I'm doing, I have it set up, and I'll switch to it here. I wear a helmet on screen. So this is a clip that I have preloaded for my character that I just leave on, and then I'll take the helmet off so I could see. Then I'll switch back and forth between the scenes when I'm playing the game. But oh yes, I have very peak emotions when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, and I believe that we had a brief discussion about the fact that you tend to also have a very hard time with game masters and all the things they do wrong when they're game mastering.
There's a lot. There's a lot. I've come to believe that lots of people get into game mastering firstly because they want to play the game, but and there's maybe no one else to run it, so they kind of find themselves in the positions where they need to run it. But for a lot of dudes, especially, there's a power trip in there, which is kind of fascinating to discover. And when you play enough games with enough people, you do pick up on that. Like, people feel empowered to be commanding this table here. Those people are usually fun for about 7 seconds before I'm ready to flip the table over.
My favorite are the ones that like really want to be writing a book, but
Yeah.
can't, and so they just want you to play out their
fantasy.
their thing.
Fantasies.
I have so many feelings on that. Like, for real.
Just write the
Yeah.
book.
I've encountered boners in all walks of life.
That's right.
You know, but yeah, no, that I feel that though. That feels like prime boner material where they would gravitate to that. Where, you know, yeah, no one likes a boner. I mean, some people like a boner, but you know,
It depends on the circumstance.
yeah, I was going to say there's a time and a
The
place for
definition.
everything. And
Right.
That's what she said.
and gaming, not so much. In the middle of the 4th grade spelling bee, might be traumatic. Who knows?
And when the police show up.
Oh no, you took it even worse.
I always. That's why I
Talk
can't.
about being one of the judges.
Never
Ruh-roh.
challenge him. He will always make it worse.
You always one up everybody.
I didn't know we were at a
clip that.
private school.
Yeah.
He said spelling bee. I just imagined public school, but raise the stakes.
I almost forgot, since today is in fact Pineapple and Pretend, I promised the chat that this could be the definitive vote on pineapple on pizza or not.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Pineapple and ham. Bring it on.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a time and a place for everything.
exactly.
Oh, for those of you who have not watched the show before, I also promised I was actually going to have pizza every single time we did this show, since it is Slice and Dice, and this is a reference to pizza and gaming. And there is only one place that I can order pizza from because I have a soy allergy. So I have been working my way through their entire menu, and tonight's is peaches and goat cheese.
Lost
And
it.
Okay.
It has balsamic vinaigrette on it, and so everybody wanted to know what peaches and goat cheese pizza was going to taste like, and
Tastes
the
like
answer is
ass.
the only thing it tastes like is the balsamic vinaigrette. Absolutely nothing else.
God,
You would think that would complement the goat cheese.
what do you
but,
think those people in Georgia are doing?
That's kind of weird though. That that you're using your own cheese.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
eclectic of you.
I mean, did you ask for the goat cheese, or was that
Yeah,
on
you
the
should
menu?
go by the eccentric goat.
It's part of that particular pizza that they make. And I
Huh.
mean, honestly,
had some feelings on this.
the beings that drink goat's milk the most is in fact goats. So makes sense.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I had pizza with like steak and a fried egg on it the other day, and I was like, I'm in.
I mean, that slaps though. That sounds good.
No, it was good.
Is
It
it like-
wasn't very saucy, so it was
British
just,
breakfast?
It was just basically like a Philly cheesesteak with like a fried egg on it, and they're like, oh,
Well,
Right.
cool,
To
the bottom's
clarify,
crust.
there is no sauce on this pizza. It's just cheese and goat cheese and
It would kind of be gross if there was. I don't feel like the peach would
yeah, no, not even a little bit.
go with the marinara.
But-
you know?
But,
But
then when
the-
you describe it that way, it's like, oh my god, it got worse.
But the thing that's weird is that you cannot taste the peaches or the goat cheese at all. Literally, all you can taste is the vinaigrette. It's so weird.
It's vinaigrette the pizza.
Pretty much. Well, it's
Vinaigrette
better.
Pizza. Blah.
It could be worse. They messed up my order last time, and basically all I got was like bread crust, so it was like eating cardboard while I was doing the show.
I
So
mean, they could put EVOO on it. I don't see how that would be bad. Although the peaches are still there.
all right, so Wizard is pro pineapple, Azar is pro
Oh, yeah.
pineapple. We have two in the chat that are very
Very against it.
nay
Racer
nay.
and Jacob. So
Sorry,
Yeah,
you don't have any
I think
taste
that-
buds.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone to places where it's done correctly and I enjoy it, and then I've gone to places and I was like, this is garbage, and
Yeah.
but that's all pizza. I
Facts.
I've gone to places where I go, oh, this must be my favorite pizza, and then I order it somewhere else, and I was like, this is garbage. What was I thinking?
Well, the thing is that pineapple always seems to go on pizza with ham, and I don't eat pork. So
well, that does make things difficult. I mean, I guess you could do like a sweet and sour sauce pizza with the.
Yeah. It's much harder to get that to work.
I'll have
then.
anchovies if the mood strikes. I don't even care.
Oh.
if you say it's on a pizza, Sammy will eat it. So
Just
tell
call
us
it
more.
pizza.
Tell us
I
more
grew up
about
watching
pretend.
the Ninja Turtles. Okay.
Oh God, pizza, yes.
There is that.
90s pizza cheese, the way it animated.
Oh yeah.
So tell us more about pretend. How does the system work? Where can we find it? Who is it aimed at? Does it have
my
supplements?
it needs supplements. That's what's been taking me such a long time to do.
Well, it's because he has
it needs a lot of work.
ADHD and he doesn't get doing it.
I wish that was like 100% the story, but like I run when I'm not doing YouTube, I run my own marketing company, and that kicks my ass most of the time. So it's like that, and then YouTube, and it's like, oh no, I have no time to do pretend. I can't play pretend. No, so it's my thought was, the TTRPG community is so dense already in more ways than one, but there's such a hang up on systems and how many systems are available, and have you played every system? It's like, I don't really care to put something out there. It'll just be kind of white noise. I believe that TTRPGs and playing games like this could teach kids and families and could be used in educational settings. I have friends who are therapists who've actually brought Dungeons and Dragons into their sessions with kids to help kids better articulate themselves. Like troubled children, you could use D&D in therapy settings, and it works. It's like,
Autistic.
okay, well, yes. Take that idea, make it a little easier, focus on it being a storytelling system. Now you can put that in front of families. Now
So
you can turn it into a family game.
We're not talking heavy rules lawyery, so we don't have
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
references to the 27 books that you need to play. Gotcha.
That was it. I wanted something where you could use the base book and the sky's the limit. So inside of that, it's like, okay, well, how do we make that happen? Because it's still an RPG game. There's got to be combat. Okay, well, that's great. So I made the combat system really easy. All players have 4 actions that they could do. You go in, you have your loadout of whatever you want to do, of the 4 things that you have, all of your classes that when you go through the character creation, you get these 4 things. Now, normally it's like fire spell or an ice beam or whatever. I have much better names than what I'm making up on the spot here, but it's like, that's it. When combat starts, when the combat phase begins, whatever you have in your 4 action slots, those are the only things you can do for that combat phase. So now it increases the level of intensity with, well, what do I have all these spells that I have to flip through, all these spell books. What do I do? It's like, no, focus on these things. And then all of the actions synergize. So let's say I have a fire spell. If you use a fire spell, well, there'll be a synergy there. So we get benefits for working together and focusing on coordinating as a team. So the big thing that I wanted was team-based exercise. I don't want, there's the idea, especially in like Dungeons and Dragons, it's like, well, my decision of my turn is kind of private. I don't want anybody intervening in my player agency. Well, I like that idea, fine, but think of it with kids. There's a bad guy. How do you beat him? What do you do? And really kind of throw it at them. that's the framework with the combat, but that's also the framework with the skill system. It's a regular flat d20, and the way that you improve your skills is by using those skills. So everybody could technically max out with 5 additional skill points. So the maximum anybody can get would be 25, but it's not weighted so heavily. It's if you get better at stealthing, you get points in stealthing based on high emotional moments. So, but anyway, I could talk about this forever. It's just the point being is I want people feeling comfortable being creative and sharing in cooperative imagination. And I don't, or at least in my personal experience, I haven't experienced anything that does that.
I love the idea of you have to use a skill in order to develop in it, because it
Yes.
does kind of drive me crazy that there are so many systems out there that you've earned a certain number of experience points and now poof, you can develop a skill that has absolutely nothing to do with anything you've been doing.
Yeah, it's like every 2 or 3 levels you get more skill points. It's like, okay, but we just did the most crazy thing in the context of the story. Shouldn't my character have learned from that experience in the moment? It's the idea of cut in half combat and skills. They're 2 separate things. Let's treat them different. So, but yeah, I want people to have fun.
Cool.
Have you ever
Absolutely.
Sounds awesome,
played
actually.
Have you ever played Shadow of the Demon Lord?
No.
It's you start out at level 0, and depending on how you problem solve your way through the level 0 adventure, picks what your class is going to be, because that's what earns you the skills to become like a full-blown player character.
Interesting.
Just
By the
Yeah.
way, chat, I see you. I had to scramble to set everything up. I literally have to like move my mic every single time I type. So I'm just gonna wave to everybody. I appreciate the love in the chat there, but I will be. I'll sign language to you guys for the rest of the.
Session. Yeah.
Yes.
the thing.
Yeah, the
I-
thing. When we're done with the thing.
I was noticing that
the thing.
despite the fact that they started out with a pineapple conversation, it then wandered into anchovies.
That's my bad. That's just my rampant ADD.
Oh no, it wasn't just you. There were a bunch of people that picked up on it. And I've always been entertained that anchovies on pizza is considered less divisive than pineapple on pizza.
It is.
That's because anchovies was put on pizza before social media was a thing. But if you were to do that today with social media, then everybody would have the same reaction.
I just assumed it was because anchovies on pizza is no one's favorite, whereas pineapple is either everyone's least favorite or most favorite.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, you either have a love or a hate relationship. There's no middle ground with Hawaiian pizza or pineapple. So I guess that's where it's going. You either like it sweet or you don't.
But see, I like pineapple, but I don't like hot pineapple.
Oh, okay.
I can get that. So no pineapple upside down cake or anything like that for you.
Yeah, it's just I like pineapple, as God intended, fresh out of the pointy, stabby skin.
Yeah, I don't like
Well,
it
that's
when it's
debatable.
like mush.
Yeah, it's debatable. I don't know.
I like it.
Here,
I like a little crunch to my pineapple.
I like it when when you eat raw pineapple and the inside of your mouth starts to sting. That's because the pineapple is actually like damaging the cells inside your mouth. So as you eat the
It's
pineapple,
acidic.
it is eating you back.
Well, why not? It's going to have a defensive mechanism right there.
that
Builds
kind
character.
that kind of viciousness I can get behind.
Nice.
Eat a slice of pineapple, roll 1d4 for damage. Gotcha.
So eating pineapple is like a form of codependency. Great.
Eraserhead, because anchovies on pizza taste good and has a salty taste, whereas pineapple on pizza is a gross mess.
Oh, no, disagree.
Not true. Not true.
I was
But,
with you till the end there.
Yeah, my
I'm
wife's
gonna-
idea of Hawaiian pizza, I don't know if I should even say this, but she wants to put maraschino cherries along with the pineapple on there.
Oh.
So that's an entirely different level of sweet, weird
It's a fucking
shit.
fruit salad now.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. Exactly. Get a pear.
I'm gonna make a pizza called the Oathbreaker, and it's gonna be pineapple anchovy, and you guys are
Oh.
just gonna have to deal with that.
It's called the Oathbreaker.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Just the name. I would not enjoy it, but I would eat it just for the name.
It's a perfect name.
I want to start a pizza restaurant just to put it on the menu, and they'll be like, "Dude, I want to make it." It's like, no one's gonna order it. It's just put it on there.
But then it'll go viral. It'll become like a delicacy. You got people from India coming over to try the Oathbreaker.
It's like, holy shit, it's our most popular item. Not because it's good.
You get the Barstool sports guys coming in. We're here to try the Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
Hope I never know those rules.
Shane Gillis is gonna like kick my door in.
All right, so Eraserhead says Sammy he wants to know how he blocks a panelist.
Oh,
And-
well,
Azar Rachel says that cherries are great on pizza.
That was the first thing I ever heard. My wife is like, "Hey, why don't your Hawaiian pizzas ever have cherries on them?" And I'm like, "What the hell? Nobody ever does that." And so she searched the internet for the next 2 hours and found one place in like Seattle, Washington, of all places, that put cherries on a pizza. And I'm like, "What the hell is this?" So I
Ham,
stood
pineapple,
corrected.
cherry, cheese, and brown sugar sauce. That's a dessert.
yeah, I was
not-
gonna say
that's not a
that's
pizza,
a
that's a-
pastry at this point.
Absolutely.
Well,
Well, you
You learn something new every
caramelize
day.
everything real nice, and add a little
Yeah,
bit of
you
sprinkle of sugar
A
and
little chocolate syrup.
yeah, why not?
You know.
I mean, maraschino cherries are from Croatia and northern Italy, so kind of close to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like if you drill straight through the earth and come out the other side, maybe.
Yeah, be like
Yeah,
one guy who had a
but there
little
are-
too much
There are
wine.
cherries. There are cherries, and then there are maraschino cherries, which are
Yes.
like, I don't know, some ungodly thing that
Oh
was
yeah,
never meant to be.
red dye number 3 all the way. Hooah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very good for you.
I honestly, I really thought that this peach pizza was going to feel more like having dessert than, having dinner, and it's just no.
Wow.
It's like having it's like having a shrub in solid form.
I'm just loving how hard Eraser's just going in the chat. He's just like, never speak to me again.
He's gonna like hate us all by the time this is
A lot
done.
of, lot of
He's
anger
getting
there, Eraserhead.
apoplectic right now.
You're talking like somebody that deserves to get an Oathbreaker.
Yeah. I will have one sent to your door.
Yeah.
You'd miss me, Eraserhead, with every bullet so far.
It was like, oh, we need to add another ingredients like pickled eggs. Let's go.
Okay, so
The
I have to say
Oathbreaker.
the worst thing I had hamburger pizza is a thing here. Apparently, it isn't.
Oh yeah.
everywhere, but
They were wonderful.
Yeah.
Hamburgers with
Um,
onion. Get some onions on it.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
some peppers. We'll
pickles.
stack that right up.
I have discovered. I apparently also do not like hot pickles because pickles on a hamburger pizza turned me off to the whole thing.
There you
I
go.
don't like hot pickles. I like spicy pickles. But yeah,
Sure.
no, they got to be cold and they got to be crunchy. I don't
Yeah,
like. I
exactly.
don't like anything. Same thing with the pineapple. Like I don't want mush. Like
Yeah.
in my mouth. Like it's. I need.
There we go.
It needs
Sammy's
to have a
Sammy's on
structure.
Sammy's on my team here. Okay, Azar, tell us about your game.
Yes, all right. Hey, I just it's a game I just discovered a few months ago. And I don't know if anybody likes old school D&D, only simplified in many ways. AD&D. So if you're really old like me, that's something that's really a thing. And it's called Castles and Crusades by Troll Lord Games. I don't know if anybody in the chat's ever heard of it. But they basically came up with their own version of first edition AD&D and kind of modernized it with their Siege engine. And Troll Lord Games is kind of a unique company. They're super pro veteran. So if you're a veteran, I believe you can go online into their web store and get any product for 50% off. So, but it's kind of a cool thing where you can spend a reasonable amount of money to get into it or none at all. So apparently they decided that they were going to create a system that doesn't have new editions, just new printings. And the printing is basically, it's just basically updating with mina errata, um, uh, y- y- formatting and stuff like that without any major rule changes. So some guy with, a second edition printing can sit down and play with a guy with a ninth edition printing and have a great time. So as a player, you don't have to spend any money if you download the free off of Trollord Games website, seventh edition printing PDF. And basically, you can just sit there and print out pertinent parts if you have the ink cartridges to do it. And that's the only cost that you're going to put into it. So GMs can get involved and start playing, and they only need 2 books. So they need the player's handbook, and then they need a book called Monsters and Treasure. And basically, that gives you everything you need to start playing. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to stop with this, just massive avalanche of you need to rebuy all your stuff when we go to a new edition. You need to buy 500 books because the you can have massive tables and you got to figure out all your skills and stuff like that. They wanted to just keep it simple, stupid. And so it's like super classic D&D where you roll 3d6 and assign your attributes. So you roll 46, drop the lowest, assign your attributes, but there are no skills really per se. So what you basically with the siege system is you have target numbers. You add and it's based on your. Oh, actually, hey, cool, you pulled it right up. And Gary Gygax got involved with them. So if you guys are fans of old school D&D, Gary Gygax was involved with them until his death in 2008. Did he die in 8? I think it was. So, but like Wizard was saying earlier, he doesn't like game systems that everybody gets bogged down in the minutia, and neither do Trollord Games. So I'm super hopeful to have something with a kind of a modernized feel for classic D&D and dive into something like that. So if you're looking for a simple game, check it out online. You can just search for Castles and Crusades 7th edition player handbook, and it's all over the web. Just pull it down and read it. You get like 300, 400 pages. So it might be a little prohibitive if you want to sit there and print it out. But as far as the game goes, recently with the whole evil coastal wizard thing, where they pulled all the open game license and all that stuff, they just did a reprinting again, and so they call it the Reforged stuff, which is the current ninth edition printing of the game, and they just pulled out all the OGL stuff. So you have new spell names, a couple of new monster names. They don't talk about character alignment in the same way that they did before. But if you're looking at getting into something with a super easy feel of classic D&D, you can step in on this for $0 as a player and pull off the PDF versions. So if you look at the website, it's got PDF and hard copy prices right there for you. If you're a veteran, knock 50% off of most of that stuff, and away you go. So, and apparently people are still talking about anchovies on pizza.
Actually, I think the brown sugar and cherries that got mentioned is now.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely pizza night. So I've got a supreme pizza sitting in the fridge right now. I might as well eat some cold slices.
There you go.
So, but if anybody has any questions about that, I mean, hey, you want game systems that are affordable to get into. And I hate this constant, you have to buy the new edition. All your old stuff is crap now. You can't play. It's almost like another
Outdated.
game company I won't get involved in, like, Warhammer.
Has there been?
I was gonna say you play GW stuff. If you're worried about editions, you're in the wrong.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what pissed me off about GW. I haven't played them in a few years now. It's like I'm not going to get involved in it.
Has there been more drama with the open gaming license with Hasbro?
I mean,
Not that I know of.
There's been so much other drama with Hasbro. I don't know how you'd. I mean, there's the whole laying off Wizards of the Coast people because like the rest of Hasbro wasn't making enough money, and there was questions
That's
about
amazing.
how
Actually,
the new 2024 edition came out and whether or not their numbers are actually as good as they say they are, because there
I
seems to
don't
be.
believe it
Nobody
Well,
personally.
apparently there was a certain program where you could buy the hard copy and you would automatically get a PDF, but then they were counting it as if people had bought 2 books.
Oh, so they fudged the numbers.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
I mean that's the rumor. That's the rumor. But,
Oh,
and then
allegedly in Minecraft they
Allegedly.
fudged the numbers.
yeah, and they didn't yeah, they didn't release books when they were supposed to be. The other thing is that apparently there are a lot of typos in the hard copy, and they're fixing them. They're fixing them on the PDFs, but not in the hard copy.
Well, if
So
they're starting
so
on to
they
print,
said, well, they said we're not going to force people to play online. But then what they did was put out a substandard hard copy book so that realistically you have to buy the online products in order to actually play the game properly.
Or the digital version, yeah.
Yeah.
this has been like, oh,
Well,
I mean,
there is no PDF version because they're worried about it getting stolen. So the only other way to get it
is
is to get
the
the
Beyond.
online copy.
Wow, the digital access
yeah.
version.
Oh, screw that. Absolutely not.
So it's kind of funny. We with everything with Pretend, I moved for, and I didn't want to, but I went for a digital access option because it's just me, and I know it's going to be riddled with errors. So, like, I don't want to put it in. Everybody was like, oh well, we want a physical. It's like, yeah, me too, but I'm a one person operation. I can't in good conscience sell you something that's going to be obsolete when I make a couple of changes and move some commas around in a couple days. So
I was going to ask if there were pictures or hard copies or anything that you could show us. I was going to ask, I can bring up the website, but I know that you said that the website is going to be.
it's going to
Changing.
change. Actually, I could try to pull up one of the working files that we have now. So let me pull that up. Might take me a minute or so.
Okay.
But kind of what we've been working on.
In the meantime, the Yarn Witch has appeared in the chat. And since she's the one who originally started this whole pineapple thing, she has to cast her vote.
It's her fault.
She and Eraserhead were going back and forth at our first ever show. And, like if they'd been in person, I think there would have been blows. Yes, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I say yes.
Absolutely. I'm right there with it. Yeah.
I say yes.
Pineapples and cherries.
The verdict is in.
Okay, so Yarny, the question is, do you put cherries on your pineapple pizza?
That's my wife. Yeah. I had to try it. It's not horrible. It's just.
I should have figured out how to do this as an actual poll because I don't actually know what the numbers are.
Well, we'll just gotta do
Show of
ones in
hands.
the chat and ones in the chat.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, Matt. Yeah. Hey, don't get it out. That's a Nikki thing. It's the wife. Cherries on the pineapple.
I always love when you can explain to your friend who was like, "Well, it's my wife," and they're like, "Oh, I got it."
Yeah. Yeah, Matt said.
Okay, this is a little drastic. It's still gross, like licking someone's crotch.
I mean, whose crotch?
Well, it depends.
Yeah,
Crotches have a whole different flavor set.
There's a time.
Are they referring
and a
to the
place
pineapple?
for everything?
Pineapples have crotches, apparently. So
You learn something new every day.
Hey, Yarn, it's a regular Hawaiian pizza with ham, pineapple, and then for some ungodly reason, my wife adds maraschino cherries.
She was like having a regular pineapple pizza, and she was like drinking a Shirley Temple one day, and she was like, oh.
No, apparently she went to this. She always went to this one place, this one restaurant as a kid, and that's the way they did a Hawaiian pizza. Every time they order a Hawaiian pizza, so she thought all Hawaiian pizzas are supposed to have cherries on them. And
Fair
then
enough.
I ordered a Hawaiian pizza at a local place, and there were no cherries on it. She's like, "Where are my cherries?" So that's where that
All
went.
right.
So we had to try.
I mean, if you grow up with it, I can't
That's it.
can't blame.
Well,
you.
I mean, I find it strange that that's the only place she ever ate Hawaiian pizzas at. So who knows?
Hey, you know what you're like.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we looking at here?
Yeah, this is just the working template I've been building out. It was just a matter of getting all of the book, and it's like, in the book is like 200 something pages. And then getting it over here and trying to crunch it into segments. I don't love this. So this is very much probably going to change, but it's just the introduction to the world, how to play, trying to keep everything as short and sweet as possible, but also knowing that one of the biggest problems with role-playing games is that role-playing gamers are a pain in the ass, and they need to have strict instruction on things like rest and sleep and food and water, but if I give kids like character creation, I want to make it as simple as possible. So that's where it's why there's like 13 chapters. But yeah, character creation is pretty simple. We've broken it down. Step 1, choose your kind. That's just your species. Choose your class. Choose your origin. Write a backstory. That's it. And then, so what does that entail with all those things? Well, I have the 3 basic kinds here. Elves, we gave you a little bit of lore, but all of this can be thrown away, and we kind of explain that in parts of this. It's like, yeah, we're going to give you lore and stuff. You don't have to use it. I wanted to create a system where, unlike, Dungeons and Dragons, if you know the Dungeons and Dragons lore, it's easy to keep up with. If you don't, it's aggravating when somebody tries to reference it. So we'll give you some of this, but we're very clear on like, throw it out if it doesn't work. Something that comes with it, you get your health points, your size, movement. We broke movement into squares because it's so much easier to describe it as squares instead of feet, because then it's definitive, especially when you're dealing with what's the transition? So it's easier just to have it as squares, especially when you're streaming. It helps. And something that we invented, or really I invented, is what we call a boost ability. Now, what's fun with these is boost abilities can be used at any time during combat. They're typically intended for combat. But imagine you're playing the game, it's not your turn, your teammate is going, your teammate is about to die. You may have a boost ability that you could deploy when it's not your turn, when it's the enemy's turn, when it's a friend's turn. And then boom, an instant status effect that boosts your team in some way. The caveat with this is that as soon as you use a boost ability, none of your other players can use it for the rest of that encounter. And so it's instead of having like racial passives, we were like, no, why don't we just invent boost abilities? So like ingenuity. All right, once per combat phase, a human can apply momentum on your next attack roll, gain a second action for 1 rotation. So in that's basically attack twice, take the better one, and gain a second action. So remember those 4 things I said before. You do another one for one turn. We want to make it as simple and kind of drag and drop as we can. So we've got our these are the kinds that are here. Then we've got the 4 basic classes. Now, classes are usually pretty rigid once you start down that path. If you're a bard, you're locked in as a bard, especially in something like D&D or Pathfinder. No, not here. If you start off as a warrior, we're going to give you the starting weapons and armor. That's virtually it. After that, you could dump all this stuff and pick up spells. You could dump all this stuff and pick up bard dancing abilities or cleric abilities or dark abilities or whatever the case may be. All of this is just starting options that fit those slots that you would have. But outside of combat, you may say, I toss my shield away. You toss the shield away.
So infinite customization.
Infinite customization. I think, you give this to a bunch of 8th grade kids, how long are they going to actually want to stay and play their class? Probably not
Not
too
not
too
for very
long.
long when they see, the kid across the table doing something super cool with his wizard. He's
That
gonna be
was
like, man, Bite Barbarian stinks. I can't cast Fireball.
yeah.
So now he's a
So
fireball casting barbarian.
I also have this philosophy that I think healers need to be like better than they are in every game. So we gave them like this is I genuinely think this is some of the like best options. And when we play tested this, we did streaming play tests with this for a little while, and it was really fun. So assist, and I wrote this in a way where like yes, even though everything else is drag and drop, I really only want the healer to get this option, especially at like day 1 first level. Grant a target you could touch +1 damage dice on their next turn. That is broken, and we totally intended to be broken to empower somebody to be the healer. So, just and then like in that moment, it's like, well, what do you do? Describe what your assist ability looks like. Get into character. So all of these are written to be slightly overpowered, and that's the intent is to make players feel powerful. Because again, this is even I've described as like baby's first RPG.
This is actually a really great idea because I remember when the older editions of D&D, somebody was always forced to be the cleric because nobody ever wanted to
Because
do it.
everybody needed healing and nobody wanted to be the guy that stood in back and just threw a heal on people. Yeah, I get it.
Well, that's what they did that, and like if there didn't happen to be any skeletons around, otherwise you were totally useless.
Hell, that's almost in every game. I mean, EQ when it first came out, EverQuest for you young people. When that first came out, I had to sit in the back and play the cleric just to keep the party alive because everybody wanted to be the damage over time guys or the great fireball throwing. They wanted to be the hero up front. So
Yeah, there's a lot that I feel like you could do in something like that. So, we'll see. We're still in the growth period now, in the very early stages, but it's not even this is like I just started putting together the PDF. So I figured, you know what, this isn't perfect. It needs to be more accessible. So I want the PDF to go out next, and that'll be fun. See how that
are you,
goes.
are you going to bring it into the digital tabletop world? Like, I don't know, World Anvil or, some of the other stuff like,
I so would love to. I professionally, like I've been working in marketing for years, for almost 10 years. And I wish I had more of an education when it comes to like coding and web design better than I know how, like just through work. Like because I see something like Demiplane, which basically copied D&D Beyond, but made it for every other game. I'm like, I want that so bad for this game. I want that so bad for the system. The customization options that are in something like Demiplane or that are in D&D Beyond, because if I can get character sheets on people's phones, or if I can get character sheets in the hands of players, like it'll be so much easier than having to print out a character sheet and then constantly scratch it out to change something. Right. So I would love that, but I would also love it to be integrated in our system, and I haven't really figured that out yet, but I would love it so much. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of the printout character sheets because I like to game in person. And
what's that? Oh my God. COVID.
No, we're not
Where?
going there. We're not going there.
Where?
It's everywhere.
Gasp.
Anyway, but I actually got in a discussion with somebody who was on an earlier show about the fact that they did not have a fillable PDF character sheet. And I said, I think you underestimate how terrible the handwriting is of most of my players. Like I really need
that's
fillable
intentional.
PDFs.
That's intentional, especially when we get down to gold pieces. You want to smudge that as much as possible so you can be like, I got 4,300 gold pieces.
I just want to bring this up a little bit, just so everybody can kind of see what the current website looks like.
Cool.
Right.
I like the art.
I figured it would be good for kids.
Oh, that's it. Introduction to role playing.
Yeah.
Hell,
we may move away from that. But yeah, well, that's just it. It's like kind of welcoming. It's not. I feel like with most RPG art, it's like intense and like
Oh, it's
gritty
super intense. Yeah,
and
no,
it's
no,
like that's
I like that art.
nerdy.
Right,
You
exactly.
know?
I mean that art looks like one of their classmates made it. Only it's better, way better.
Exactly. Or like I
Yeah, I
have.
mean,
Keep it
Yeah,
simple.
I like welcoming. Welcoming is a yeah. It's not in your face. Doesn't look like a cover of Conan the Barbarian.
Right.
It was like I
Exactly.
feel like even with my game that I played for this show, like I got the box and I got everything out and I was going, this looks really intense.
No chainmail bikinis.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for that.
Except in this, not in pretend. You can pretend to have a giant chest that's bare and
I mean
probably
the
inappropriate. The
hang on a second. I got too many buttons to click here at the same time. The early D&D. Oh, is this art from the book?
there you go.
I want to
Like these
hang out
little
with that
like-
guy.
It's a loofah.
Yeah.
A loofah monster.
I was thinking it
These-
looked like cotton candy with eyeballs.
It's a loofah
That's
monster.
kind of the idea. So these are called brambles, and they float in space, the void of space. And they get emotionally attached, and they will defend you to their dying breath, but they have no control over their power. So all of their spells is like wishes, but it's on a D100 chart, and it could very much affect your team. So
Negatively.
Oh,
or
that's
positively?
awesome.
It's,
They're
cha-
just
Oh,
like-
it's chaos magic.
They're floating balls of
Exactly.
chaos who love you.
yes, that's exactly it. I was like, what? How could we have the most fun with our creations?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I want to play this game, bro.
Yeah. Now you're getting into it. So when are you going to start? Open play testing?
I
We
think he's
did a
already-
lot of that. We got to
Yeah,
do
it was-
more of it. We got to we once the PDF version is done, which I'm hoping is done this quarter, and like out, and we have that website is fully up and running because I want to get rid of the old the software that we use to build everything out is slow and clunky, and it all needs to get scrapped. Because everything else I was just showing, like I did pretty much by hand. So it's all integrated by hand. It's all hand coded, which is annoying. And I'm not, like I said before, I'm learning it all on my own now to make it all happen. So, yeah, I'm hoping within the next three by the end of the next 3 months, that would be ideal.
I mean,
But,
it looks. Oh, that's what I started to say. So the older editions of D&D had much simpler art. I mean, there was a lot of pencil sketches in the book, and
Right.
like that's the kind that
Black and white
us
line drawing.
us old fogies started with, and then it kind of developed as we grew up. And when we hit adulthood, we were in the habit of seeing these intense, I guess is as good as word as any, images. But we sort of forget that that's not what we started with, and that's probably a little overwhelming for somebody that's in third grade, which is when I started.
Right. Or overloading for their parents. I mean, when I was a kid, my parents went through my D&D books and were immediately, this is from the devil, and threw it all away.
So
So,
Satanic Panic.
oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was exactly during that time. And I had every D&D piece of dice, everything, every book, all my Dragonlance novels and stuff like that, all thrown in the trash. I had to go down there
Oh
and
no!
everything gone. I
Did
recovered.
you get any of it back?
I dug through the trash, but I got maybe half of it back that wasn't destroyed. But nope, that was it. She was trying to save my soul because there was even this little pamphlet she got her hands on somewhere. My mother did, and it listed some of the damage charts from like Warhammer Fantasy, which is way over the top violent. And I'm just playing classic. I mean, red box. classic D&D, and some of the damage charts were like, the sword cuts his bowels open, spewing entrails 3d6 feet around him, and stuff like that, and the demonic entities that are listed, and they're all from other game systems like Cult and stuff like that, which are definitely not the 12, 13-year old D&D
Oh yeah.
box set.
Nope.
Let's face it, it's ironic too, because if anything's gonna like keep you off the streets or away from like
Oh, hell
parties where people are trying drugs or helping you lose your virginity, like all the things that like might corrupt a kid, like you'd be like downstairs playing a game with your friends.
Yeah, Matt, she
If-
definitely failed to save my soul.
it's,
There's,
it's one of those.
Absolutely, Sammy, and it's like, what do you do as a kid? I mean, you can go out there and meet strange people and get into vans and lured away with candy or whatever it is. Oh, that's another panic. But or you can stay and learn and be intelligent and think with your mind outside of the box. And all sorts of great skills, interaction skills. People need to interact.
I always found I got in the most trouble when I didn't have anything to do and I had to make things up on my own. And
Somebody posted on Twitter the other day that the Satanic Panic never happened, and that it
Oh,
was just
bullshit.
Oh, I saw that.
that it was made up. And I
Kiss
was like, there's a meme that says, one of the things about growing older is having events that you remember very clearly explained to you very wrong by someone that's much younger than you are.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is that moment.
This is that moment. There you
yeah,
go.
I'm waiting for that, like in a couple years down the road when like a lot of these little kids and they're like, my dad is a COVID survivor, and you're like, yeah, we all
Hey,
get,
hey. What did I just say?
Let's not go there.
Oh, I mean,
Oh yeah.
In
Gaming and
Minecraft.
Gaming and
in
pizza.
Minecraft.
Minecraft, yeah.
Wait, can you not say that?
What?
You can get away with it now.
Oh, you can.
In like 8 months ago, it was still taboo. You're fine now.
COVID's not real.
I do
Okay.
remember.
Just looking around for a lightning bolt to come out
In Minecraft.
down my door.
Yeah, you cannot catch it in Minecraft.
You cannot.
I do. I do remember that my mother. I didn't know this until years later, but apparently my mother took a lot of grief because she let me game as a kid, and like all of her friends were talking about the fact that I was getting into Satanism because I was playing games.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember people were mad because like I went to Catholic school all throughout like elementary, and people were getting mad that I was like reading Harry Potter.
Oh, I can imagine.
I had that too.
Mhm.
I experienced that
You know,
bit.
they
Here, I
cast
found the
spells,
I found the
and I was like,
tweet.
yeah.
Oh, did you?
Once the
Yeah.
mug runs out of
Bring
pumpkin
it-
juice,
bring
it
it
fills
on.
back up.
It's JDA is at it again. There was never a satanic panic. It was a
Whatever.
mainstream media psyop to remove Christianity from the culture. That's why our culture sucks now, because boomers fell for it. Don't be like boomers. And then I love this. Satanic panic was a real thing. Evidence and testimonies of people who lived during that time can be found easily.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
My favorite comment to that was somebody posted something to the effect of, like, you realize that you now are the Satanic Panic. That, you're removing Christianity from the culture through gaming.
Oh yeah.
It's wild, but that the level of not misinformation, but no information. I feel like that was part of that problem. It was such a new thing, and you had a lot of bad faith actors got involved and then made something out of nothing. I mean, there is a lot of demonic content in TTRPGs.
Some of them, sure, absolutely. But a lot of it is just kind of like goofy level content, like D&D with a picture of Baal on the front. There, you remember that old monster manual?
Absolutely, that's the one in my head when I was saying it.
That was one of the pictures in the pamphlets my church handed out. It was like, oh,
Yes.
we do now.
That's the classic picture.
Cartoon Baal. Oh,
The
great,
thing is-
wonderful.
The thing is, it's interesting is if you look at old school D&D or any old school game, yes, there were things like demons, But the whole point was that you were the good guys
You
fighting
were
the
fighting
demons.
Exactly.
They
Whereas
were
now,
bad. That was the yes.
Yeah, they
whereas
were the
now,
big bad. They were the big bad, and you had to defeat the big bad.
whereas
But
now,
Yeah, but that doesn't matter to them. It's like
no,
you
it
can't.
doesn't.
They can't be subjected to these things because reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
When they
that's
control.
awesome, wizard.
I love the wizards.
I'm grabbing my book.
They are.
I have. I think I have that book here.
Yes,
um,
because I would love to see
You
what
have
the
that
hell you
old
guys are
monster
talking
manual.
about.
That's awesome.
I have a bunch of them.
I regret losing all of my old D&D stuff. I had just about everything from first and second edition. Yeah, back in the day.
but nowadays, if you look, there are warlocks that actually like have basically demon bosses. That
Warlocks have been bastardized in
like
common game.
that's what they that's how they gain their magic is, they've literally made a deal with something. If not
With
the
the
devil, then with not the if not the devil, then some, eldritch Cthulhu-esque god or something like that. So
What
yeah,
about
it's
tieflings? I
hmm?
mean, the addition of tieflings or the half demons.
I don't know. I gave up on D&D
Yeah,
so
I
long
did
ago.
too.
Other than to like watch the news and watch Wizards of the Coast do stupid stuff,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
game itself I have basically given up on.
Well, that's the reason I looked up Castles and Crusades, because people were telling me, hey, look, it's a simplified version of D&D back from old school. So if you like, the classic or the first and second edition D&D from back in the old days, that this would be an awesome, awesome way to get back into being a GM or being a gamer. And that's what I hopefully can sucker some people into subjecting them to, my DM style.
I think we have another technical difficulty.
Oh,
No,
he's gone.
I'm trying to go full screen, and I just put my screen back. Hang on.
Ah,
Oh, okay. So he's still here.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still here.
Cthulhu 2028. Yeah. Hooah.
So I have the Ravenloft box set.
Oh, there
It's
you go.
open. It's not like it's sealed. So this is the second edition AD&D
Nice.
Ravenloft.
Govich.
I have the Christopher Lee inspired Ravenloft box, Realm of Terror.
1, 2, 3. Kabla. One naked virgin. Two naked.
Wilderness Survival. I've got Monster Manual 2, Dungeoneer Survival Guide. But this is the good one here. This is the
First edition
classic
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Dungeon Master's Guide. This is the classic one.
Yeah. The cultist.
Unearthed Arcana. And the manual. This is everything I have is AD&D.
When I was talking yeah, AD&D first edition. I think it was the first edition monster manual that had the looked like a cartoon. Red.
Yeah, that's. I thought I had that. I don't have it.
Damn it. I mean, somebody could probably look it up. I'm tempted to look it up.
It's so you'll see it. It's easily recognizable.
Yeah, but if I threw that down on the kitchen table, my mother would have lost it, and we'd be being dragged by my ear to church and have to have a prayer session or something. And I'm like, well, that's kind of culty. But,
well, on that note, Sammy, before we totally lose you in all this lore that you know nothing about.
Oh yeah, sorry, brother. Sorry.
No worries. I'm actually interested. I just don't know what you're talking. I feel like when I was like a kid and the adults were talking, and I just happened to be like at the table, and they were talking about like who was running for mayor or like paying taxes and shit, and I was like, oh, I'll learn about that when I'm older.
I should change my icon to the.
So this is the smile and nod mode, is what you're telling me.
So I played a game with my wife this weekend called Guess Who, and it's a role playing game. And yes, no, we played a game called suggested by Goat here, and it's called Dice Throne. And I actually had a blast playing it. I'm probably gonna play it again. I know she wants to play it again. And it was Barbarian versus Moon Elf, which I guess was like the the easiest one to play. I was the barbarian. Very much, you would roll dice, and you would get certain combinations of that, and then you could also manipulate the dice rolls with certain cards and everything. And I had a blast playing it. I can't go that much more into depth.
Now you have to
There's
tell us
a,
you have to tell us the important thing. Who won?
She won. Although another reason she wants to play again is because this was like our first time, playing. We didn't know kind of like get the hang of it until around like both of our health points were like halfway gone. So we're gonna have a proper game. And it was a lot of fun. I'm actually interested in trying out a lot of different characters on that, because I know there's like there seems to be like 20 different characters you can play. A lot of people said to like try out ninja, and but I was the barbarian. Barbarian was pretty cool.
I'm not sure I've ever played the barbarian or with the barbarian at all. I did the first game I ever played was the Moon Elf, and I got absolutely spanked. Lost horribly, but it was still great fun.
Yeah, that was another thing too, because I talked to my buddy who played that, and he's like, "You lost as the barbarian, like on, like entry like level stuff," and I was like, "Well, we didn't really know what we were doing." It was like apparently there's some situations where the barbarian gets pretty OP, but you do have to like power up your stuff. You get to upgrade your attacks as you go along, and I don't know if I made the best choices, because a lot of my stuff was like, "Ooh, shiny! This looks like this is." I didn't think about it as strategically as I would have, but don't worry, guys. I will beat my wife next time I play.
You'll beat your wife, huh?
Yeah.
Don't take that out of context.
when
In
they
Minecraft.
play.
Yeah, nobody
No,
clipped
but
that.
it was fun. She had a great time playing it too. No, I meant it. I mean, in the game, I will beat
Sammy plays to win.
my wife. But and she was looking at different
Careful, that's what got
characters
Neil Gaiman in trouble.
Is it?
That's a different kind. That wasn't in Minecraft.
Yeah,
Wasn't they weren't playing Guess Who?
yeah, they were playing Dice Throne.
He was
They were playing the home game. But
there was a maid involved. I don't think Sammy's got a maid involved.
Yeah, no maids. Definitely no maids. I'm interested in trying out some new characters, but I always do tend to gravitate towards like blunt instrument type characters, where it's like, well, I'm just gonna solve this through blunt force, and that very much felt that way through the gameplay, especially compared to the Moon Elf, which had different style attacks, and then there was a particular attack that I was looking at other characters where it was like, if I upgraded it, like I could have dealt like plus 20 or like 20 damage, and I think you only have 50 like health points to start with, so it was like, that's just like a devastating attack. I mean, you get 5 points unavoidable damage, but like that's still like a net game of 15. So like I was enjoying the crap out of it. As a matter of fact, the more I talk about it, the more I kind of want to play it. But this is I guess this is what the second. You said it was better off. This isn't the first iteration of this game, or what?
This actually was from the first edition. There's a second edition, but they changed how you have to do combat, and I do not like the change at all.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, and actually, that kind of feels like if you had more than like 3 people playing the game, and from the way that the battles go now, that would take forever. That would make the game really drawn out, which I would much rather have it just be a concise game and then play it again rather than, hey, let's drag this out because you basically said you're forced to kind of like attack the person with the most life points, and that will or the person closest to winning. Yeah, I just feel like that would keep drawing you back. But yeah, there are a ton of different characters in this game. The artwork is awesome on all of them, and each character does feel different. You know, I don't know. I can't speak for every single type of character in the game, but like you definitely start to get a feel for like how your character, like you know, like how to pilot your character, and you know, you do things accordingly. Like you know, there were certain upgrades and cards that I was hoping to do in different roles I was hoping to get, and I knew my wife was hoping for like different ones for different reasons. So like it did feel personalized, and I liked it. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. So sounds pretty beginner friendly. I've never played the game, so but I'll probably
I've
end up
heard of it, and I heard it's
It was-
fun.
Yeah,
So
no, it was very beginner friendly.
the thing
I'm a
that
beginner.
I like the best about it, and the reason I always suggest it to people, is that the different characters you can play have different difficulties. So if you have someone who's played the game a ton, who wants to teach someone how to play, you can literally give them a level 1 character and you can take a level 6 character, and it evens the game out a lot. So you're not just automatically, skunking them right from the get-go. The tactician is my favorite, and I think that's like the second hardest one to play.
Well, you're kind of a sadist or a masochist, so
I like the way I like the way the cards go together.
right.
Because there is a certain amount of tactics, and the more you play and the more you learn what's in your particular deck, the easier it gets, because then you know what the different combos are you want to put together. It's kind of like a Magic deck that way, for anyone
Yeah,
who's ever played
that
Magic
was
together.
another thing too, which will help me in turn to beat my wife. Is I didn't necessarily know how to string like attacks together or like strategize, but like rest assured, I will.
She's
beat
in
my
for it
wife.
next time. You get a stick
Yeah.
no bigger than your thumb.
I'm just
Ready
gonna really
for it.
let her have it.
Put the boots right to her.
Yeah, just just like old school, Wrath of God.
Outstanding. So it sounds like it's pretty easy for a non-gamer wife to pick up. So it's wife friendly,
Oh yeah, and
husband
she,
friendly. You know,
I mean, but we were both at the same skill set. She never played a tabletop game like
Right.
this either, so we were just kind of going in blind. And by the end of the first playthrough, we were having a blast. So, the only reason that we haven't played it more is just because we, had to played it around like the end of the weekend, and just it was like, so I think I'll play a couple more rounds with it this weekend, and hopefully, if she likes it even more, if she wants to stick with the Moon Elf, she certainly can. But if she wants to find like another character, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But I was also, thinking like they have like big collections where you can just like get a whole bunch of them at once. Like I kind of just want to explore that, just because like I like seeing what the attacks are. I like, just like learning about the other characters. It's got like its own little universe there, and it's a fun one to get into. And like I said, as someone who I consider myself like a comic book guy, I just loved the art. It was it's very fun. Just to sometimes certain things you look at the art and like it can take you out of it. And I was like, no, this is just bombastic enough to like want to keep me interested. So I liked it quite a bit.
Did you know that there is a Marvel version now?
Oh, really?
really
Yeah,
interesting.
there is a Marvel Dice Throne now. Yeah.
Huh. Sounds like my wife would kind of like that. She likes all the Marvel movies. We
It's
binge
it's
watch them.
also it's also great for somebody that's never played this type of game, because one, it's a little bit like Yahtzee. So people that have
Right.
just played kind of the standard games can really get a foothold that way. And the other thing is that in a day and age where board games can be, $100 easily,
Yeah.
it's what I haven't bought it in ages. Sammy, can I ask you what it was
Oh
for?
yeah, no, I picked it up on Amazon for $20.
I was gonna say
And
it's like a complete set for two people for $20 or $30.
yeah, it was awesome. It was at my door in 2 days. It was
Hey, that's cheaper than going to McDonald's for two.
yeah, no kidding.
Fair enough.
So
Absolutely.
as soon as she gets in the
Just to
kitchen, and
note
makes
that
some
just to
sandwich,
note that this is in no way this channel advocating Amazon in any way, shape, or form.
right? Evil Amazon.
Or McDonald's.
Well, I kind of forget I forget McDonald's exists sometimes because it's been so
Yeah.
long since I ate there.
Oh, dude, we live in like completely different worlds. Like, cause you talk like, oh, there's only like one that was like, I trip over a McDonald's if I'm not looking. Like,
Yeah,
they're
me too.
all over the place.
The nearest McDonald's to me is 45 minutes away, but I have not
That's
eaten McDonald's since
crazy.
1999.
Dude, I could hit the nearest McDonald's from my house, like, on
Yeah.
a good
With
day.
Brock, yeah, from the front.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a chip shot away.
45 minutes? How far
Yeah.
north in Canada do you live?
I mean, I have been accused of that, but I do in fact just live in the high in the Northeast.
Way high.
Oh, wow. It's cold there.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. When I was doing chores this morning, it was only -12.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's about where we were. We gradually moved our way up to 10 degrees. So that was
My wife was super excited when we hit, +1. She's like, "It's +1!" Running down
Yeah.
the
well, this is
t-shirt.
this was the only time I wasn't annoyed. Like we have one of those Ring doorbells.
Oh yeah,
And it has like a community app that you could go along with, and like I have it, but it's usually just old people going like, "There's a cat in my backyard. Whose cat is this?" And it was like, "Do you not understand how cats work? Cats like wander, like just leave the cat alone." But like now it's kind of like, yeah, it's like -12 degrees outside. You shouldn't be putting your cat out unless it's just like a feral cat. And then,
I was gonna say I have two that live in the barn, so and a dog. And
yeah. But
the
they have
I got a rock.
That's one. We just water it every couple of days. Scrub
Yep.
it down with a toothbrush. There you go. Pet rock.
I
you
came
go.
by the goat icon, for a reason. So
Yeah.
it took me 3 hours this morning to smash out all the water buckets.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. I walked to my car. That was about it. And then I went to work. It'll be
Wimps.
nice though when we actually get like regular like winter temperatures and it's like 27 degrees. It'll be like spring is on the way. Um,
Oh,
Yes.
people
Shorts.
were talking about like, oh, it's 40 degrees, and they're showing pictures of themselves all bundled up. I was like,
I know.
I put a sweatshirt.
Amateurs.
I put a sweatshirt on to go outside. Does that
Yeah.
count?
Hey, I was drinking iced coffee on the sidewalk this morning at -10. So
Nice.
there you go. So when
Cold
people,
on the outside, cold on the inside.
yes, it's all there. You got to even it out. It makes it feel less painful. But
If it's above freezing, I don't even bother to put a jacket on anymore. I still haven't put mittens on, or gloves, or anything.
I haven't had a hat or a glove on in quite a long time now for
Yeah.
heating purposes.
So I have a story here about game creation. I feel like you guys would appreciate this one. I feel it fits with the theme. So my friends made a two module books. They work with 5th edition. This was 2022, I think they did this one. So it's called Benji's Guide to Rentucky Island, which is all stuff that they created. And so some of the playable options here are like Rentuckies, which are just red pandas with turtle shells. That's what they are. Or Shuppers, which are shark puppies that are playable. So it's really funny is in here there are all of the, and they have a whole bunch of art. They have items. Now I had very funny while they were writing this. I had a very unique life situation story that I think was very funny. I was it was around Christmas, and I was dating a girl that gave me a jar of dirt for Christmas.
She did not like you.
No. It was I didn't know until I was there, and I found out that she's into like witchcrafty stuff, like into the crystals, but worse.
But
And
worse.
but worse. So I was given a legitimate jar of dirt for Christmas, and then I came back from that, and it was a long distance thing, and we weren't together when I left, so I came back with some stories, and so I'm telling my buddies these horror stories, and they wrote it into this book as an item.
Nice.
The jar of dirt.
That's
Jar of dirt.
awesome.
Does it cause instant breakups?
I mean, it's funny because then I came back and I'm telling this story. I'm like, I was given a jar of dirt, and another friend we're on this group call because we're playing D&D, and it's like, oh yeah, I got this really good story, and she's like, what'd you do with it? Like, I threw it out as soon as I got to the airport. I was like, I'm not carrying a jar of dirt into LAX. The TSA is going to say, what's the deal with this dirt?
Yeah, that would look suspicious.
Yeah.
She was like, well, you shouldn't have done that. I said, why?
You've cursed yourself for life now.
Because it could have been hexed. It could have been a hex instead of like a boon or whatever she said. I'm like, oh no. So what am I supposed to do about that? She's like, okay, so what you need to do is you got to go to this local apothecary. You got to go get all these salts. You got to put it out. You got to have this moon bath with moon salts and stuff.
Like
I said,
naked on your roof kind of moon bath.
yeah, like you got to do this ritual to cleanse yourself of this hex. And I said, what are my other options? And
Satanic
just say
panic.
you don't believe in it. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be
Yeah,
okay about the dirt.
My wife.
I'm never dating a witch again.
Hey, they can be really freaky though.
I'm good.
Smell, and then like I'll look, and like my wife is like saging the house, and she's like, I just. Okay, well, like, don't do that down here, because
Setting off all the smoke
no,
alarm.
the evil spirits can stay down here. Okay, just there's not a lot of ventilation in my basement.
You're choking me out.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm just trying to play PS5. Okay, like
All I can think of with a jar of dirt is like Waterworld.
Yeah, where it has value because it's the only dirt.
It's like super valuable because you have to be a mutant and be able to go underground in order to get it. Because
it's actually a great name for an Alice in Chains cover band.
There you go.
Jar of dirt.
And in a box, jar of dirt.
One of the best stories. It's like, what were you getting for Christmas? Jar of dirt.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hey,
at that point, I would have preferred the Rock.
No bag of holding, just jar of dirt.
Jar. I'm holding. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Oh, just put it out where you want to feel more creative. I'm like, huh. Okay.
Comics Dad, have a great night. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Take care.
Cheers.
Numenera.
Numenera.
Yeah.
Sammy has played with me once.
I have.
Yes.
Azar has been suckered into playing multiple times.
Yeah. 30 years worth of being suckered in.
Well, not this particular game. I mean,
Oh, not that. No. It's been a few days. I've had a few games of Numenera. Numenera. That's the one that my wife was involved in. The horror show.
No. That was a different game. This, by the way, is the peaches and goat cheese and
Well, it
vinegar.
looks interesting. It
I
looks
would
like
try it.
barbecue chicken pizza is what I would have immediately thought it was.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't order it again.
That looks like it would have been really good, though. Like, the description we got is not the same as what it looked like.
No, you
Yeah.
should have
I
let off
was
with
thinking
that. I
like
think we would have been
canned
more
peaches.
receptive.
Yeah, but there are lots of things that are made to look great in commercials that, don't taste nearly as good as they look. So,
Well, if you know somebody in marketing, they could probably have, given you some pointers on how to, sell this.
Did you know that all cereal commercials are using glue?
Oh, absolutely.
I
Elmer's
did
glue.
know that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
And like turkey commercials basically put. I'm trying to remember. I heard this a long time ago. they like paint them or something so that they look golden brown
Yeah, I think they use
Oh, yeah.
like wood stain
Caramelized or something
and
like that.
they're still frozen because that
Well,
keeps
yeah.
them from being gushy on camera.
But if you can
Nice.
use, some gel stain, there you go.
I will say that despite the last couple of weeks, this place makes an amazing chicken and pesto pizza, which I love. Numenera.
Mhm.
So Numenera, I think, used to have an older edition, which I have run across a couple of times, but never actually played. The current edition has 2 books, Discovery and Destiny. Discovery is basically the main starter book. It has 3 classes in it. You have glaives, which are all of your
Glaive.
physical. Yes, Sammy loves his glaives. It has all of your physical attributes, basically. So your fighters, your runners, your lift heavy things, your tanks. Those are basically your glaive people. You have nanos, which are all of your intellect classes. So basically, your researchers, your scholars, your teachers, your inventors are all going to be nanos. And then you have jacks, and jacks are basically everything else.
The
They're
Jack
either
Parade.
they're either too well rounded to be in one or the other. They have skills that don't quite fit. They're the oddballs of society, basically. Instead of using stats, Numenera uses a sentence. So you have I am a adjective
Jar of
type
dirt.
There you go.
type, which is so let's say you're playing a nano. So you have I am an adjective nano that does whatever. So you can have a smart nano, you can have a clever nano, you can have a swift nano, you can have a belligerent nano.
Can you have a
Um,
retarded nano? Would that be anti?
there is literally in one of these a focus that is does nothing. So you can literally, as your verb, just have does nothing as your verb. So yeah, it's
Weird.
I think it's the equivalent of oh, I'm having a brain spaz here.
It's because
Souls.
you're old.
It's basically the equivalent of in the Souls game where you try and run through the whole thing naked. Um,
Speed run.
it's a goal to see how like lousy a character you can make and still survive.
Huh.
For those that like a challenge, I have never yet seen anyone take that as an option.
Ah, yes. I was a relentless glaive.
Yes. So you can have, while there are only 3 classes, there are huge numbers of additions you can put on those classes, which change what they are. So if you're a glaive, you can be a strong glaive, so you're good at lifting heavy things. You can be a swift glaive, so you're more dexterous. You can be a smart glaive, which might make you like a military tactician. And then you have your focus, which is your verb. I'm not sure what this means, Eraserhead.
Da-da-da.
Hey, if Eraserhead keeps it up, I'm gonna start bringing more pizza photos into chat.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go on Grok right now and make the Oathbreaker. So
Oh, do it. Compare it to this one because
Tell us.
I just shared it. I just made one.
Here. God.
it's an abomination.
it's
It looked
I'm
good
still-
until I opened the picture. Yeah.
I'm still not sure it's worse than the kiwi pizza that I posted recently.
What, Australian pizza?
There was literally like a pizza that was nothing but cheese, tomato sauce, and kiwi.
Kiwi. Huh.
Yeah,
Ew.
it looked really terrible.
Oh, that sounds gross.
So anyway, so your focus can be everything from explores dark places, in which case, you like spelunking. Stop
No.
it. Bad boy. I'll tell your wife. Um,
Oh,
to
she-
howls at the moon, which means you're a werewolf, or combines flesh and steel, which means you're a cyborg. Um, it's
Giggity. Yeah.
there is quite the number of arrangements you can make, and it's a very very role play heavy game. There are only like 7 levels or something like that, and you can only reach those levels through steps.
Don't you have to fail in order to get the levels? Critical
Uh,
failures or something like that?
no, no. So what you can do is you do not earn experience by killing things in this particular game. You earn it
You're up to
by
that shit.
overcoming extra challenges that appear unexpectedly. So every so often, for instance, you have to climb a wall that should be very easy for you to climb. And then your game master says, do you choose a GM intrusion at this point?
I don't want to be
And you have
intruded.
a choice between yes and no. And if you say no, nothing happens and you move on.
Uh-huh.
If you say yes, then something really terrible happens and that's very likely to kill you. And if it doesn't kill you, you get experience points if you
Yeah.
figure out how to overcome it.
That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That is literally how it works.
Yeah, no.
So you have to have 4 experience points in order to gain one of the 4 things that causes you to instead of level up, it's tier up. So you have to have an advancement on your hit point pool. You have to have an advancement on your edge, which is one of the ways that you use special skills. Trying to remember what else. Usually there's a class specific thing that you have to do, and then you have to develop a new skill. So basically you need 16 experience points to fill those 4 slots, and that's how you tier up. And then you basically get a new free ability.
Yeah, there's a reason I've been through, 3 games now, and I have not teared up at all,
I
ever.
think you have actually.
No. I
Yeah,
never
you just
take risks.
you just dropped out and like took a job or something stupid like that
No,
instead
my
of actually
fault.
benefiting from the tier up.
I've been flying all over the country to do work, so hey.
So then there is Destiny, and Destiny adds in. Uh-oh.
Here we are.
Oh,
Oh, that looks nasty.
that looks. Well, it's a better photo than what I had.
Yeah, it is a better photo.
Damn,
More realistic. Yeah.
way more realistic
Ugh.
with circular pineapples.
Yeah. Good.
Ooh.
Less appetizing.
Easy we are to get distracted.
Oh, and the
by
steam
food.
coming off of it. And the pineapple looks mushy.
The anchovies look like little slabs.
off.
Yeah.
You know, just by looking at
Ugh.
that, the minute you pull those anchovies off because they're disgusting, the whole pizza is going to taste like fish.
They look like cooked slugs.
They do. They look like
They work
leeches.
fast enough to get away.
All right, back to the
You're welcome.
There you go.
So there are 3 more classes. There is the leader class, which I have never ever used because you get the wrong person that decides they're going to play the leader class and they're just going to shoot the whole game to hell. And I find that most playing games kind of develop their own leader without trying too hard.
Right.
Racer says, make it stop.
Make it stop. No more Oathbreaker.
There are delves, which are specifically explorers. They're not kind of, jack of all trades type explorers that are sort of interested in things. They basically are obsessed with finding new places and new things. And then there are basically engineers, and they have the added ability that no other class has to take broken Numenera and put it together into working things. The basis for Numenera is sort of interesting. Humanity has destroyed it has hit its peak technology and then destroyed itself 8 times. So we are living in, or
Level
the
one
players are
society,
living
level
in the
two
9th
society.
world. So you basically have a Dungeons and Dragons type civilization living on the bones of this ancient technology that
They
can
don't
destroy them.
actually.
Can destroy them if they're not careful.
Yeah, I enjoyed the crap out of it.
Most people live in small villages, and they're very superstitious. But then you have explorers, some of whom might still be very superstitious, and some of whom might actually understand that machinery is not, the voice of God. There is a church. They do not actually believe that machinery is religious, but they've also figured out that people don't listen to them unless they put it that way. If you go into a town and you say, don't push the big red button because we don't know what's going to happen, nobody
Go,
listens.
we'll see
Eventually,
what you
somebody's going to
got.
push the big red button. However, if you go in and you say, don't push the big red button or God will vent his wrath upon you, people leave the big red button alone.
And your children.
Yeah. So the church basically fakes being a church and tries to study machinery in the hopes that these villages scattered all over the world do not destroy themselves by accident.
Maybe OSHA should try that.
Oh no.
They,
Yeah.
they, there are a few what we would consider small cities, but it really is very much a medieval Dungeons and Dragons. Everything is, days away from each other kind of civilization. Because of the changes, everyone is human, but humanity can be everything from 3 feet tall to 9 feet tall. Some of the civilizations that came around in the 8 were not entirely human. So your great 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 grandfather could have been Captain Kirk, and you could in fact have alien DNA in your system.
But you're blue.
Yeah, which is why you're blue and you have healing powers. Or you had an ancestor somewhere down the line that decided that experimenting on humans was fun, and so your entire family has had nanobots floating around in their bloodstreams for the last umpteen generations. And that's why you can hear machines talk. You
It's really
can,
out there.
yeah, depending on the game, depends very much on how much science fiction and how much fantasy you want to combine. There are some very hard sci-fi settings, and there are some very fantasy-based settings where things really are more like magic. You have ciphers. Ciphers are one-use magic items. You basically use them up once and you throw them away.
Like
Uh,
potion.
yeah, like a potion, except that it's machinery.
Sure.
Artifacts are extremely rare, and they're machines that basically can do things and continue working. Um, they haven't managed to break down over, a billion years worth of sitting in the sand.
It's a long time.
If Captain Kirk is in your family, you have half the galaxy in your bloodline.
I think what you need to do is you need to run an online Numenera game so that people can actually see how this thing works and what it's about, because it's super hard to describe.
Well, the thing is that it's very dependent on who's running it. I mean, the system is really intended to be very open so that you can do it in a lot of different ways.
Well, if it's you, everybody's going to die. We all know that.
Hey, hey, hey. That's not nice.
We
I
call
don't
you
kill
party wipe for a reason.
I don't kill players. I just don't stop players from killing themselves.
Or looking down wells.
In dumb kills.
The art in this is really incredible. I literally own some of the books I will probably never use solely because I love the artwork. Hello, problematic white guy. Good to see you.
Just how problematic are we talking?
I mean, about as problematic as you are, really.
He's a sweetheart. I love him.
So this is, this would be one of the more sci-fi-esque things. You have
Mhm.
technology that crashes out of the sky occasionally.
The whole
It's
floating mountains
it's bad.
is
It's bad when you accidentally unearth it from while you're digging around your village. It's worse when it falls from the sky and crushes your village.
Yeah. But it was a perfect place for Bunt Cake the Delectable to make a name for himself.
I love this picture.
Yeah, that's dope.
In
What were
some
the names
places,
of those things?
which things?
The giant anteater looking.
bugs.
The
The,
giant
the,
anteater
the
looking
giant.
things.
Oh,
Not
those are
that
dung
one.
beetles. Those are giant dung beetles.
Yeah,
They will poop.
there was one they kind of looked like.
Oh, flat earthers right there. That's what flat Earth, the edge of the Earth looks like right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, there was that. There was that aspect of it.
yep, yep.
Yeah, so here you can have these like huge swaths of, completely untouched ground, and then you'll just have this giant structure floating in the middle of nowhere for no reason that anyone knows.
And of course, I would go right to it.
I would just hang out there.
There you go. Bring a surfboard, snorkel.
So here's your glaive, your nano, and probably your jack.
I don't know how much jacking she's going to do with that hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could stay away from me.
Probably a lot.
Back away. Back away.
I mean, it'll be short lived, but
Yeah.
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 attempts can be made.
Attempts. Yeah. One shot deal. One and done.
Yeah.
So like I said, I own some of the books just because the artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. And there are, if you find that particular world boring, there are also dimensions. I mean, I currently have a game where people have accidentally blundered into a dream dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
there
and you made me
was
the diplomat. That's awesome.
Oh, no, no, no. I'm not talking about that one. I mean, literally, after you left, there was literally a dream dimension.
Oh, I missed that one. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
working. Sorry.
Um,
Is this the one I was in Virginia and you're playing and I missed it?
uh, no, that was a couple sessions ago.
Okay.
One of them managed to summon a fae and make a deal with a fae, which is a terrible idea.
Yep. Yep.
So you can have really
Yeah.
hardcore, fantasy stuff like, meeting fairy, though the fairy are
Demons.
not, yeah, they're not like nice, sweet fairy like they are in a lot of games nowadays. They are
Not fluffy Tinkerbells.
They're
No,
like
they
Irish
are the
lore.
original. They are the
Yeah.
original Fae, where
The
they will make
Fae-Folken.
deals, and then you will pay for that deal for the rest of your life, and possibly your ancestors and your descendants will both pay for it.
So the game my mother warned me about.
Yes.
Satan.
Um, yeah, it's really interesting. There there can go long periods with no combat at all. Or if you have players that are really determined, you can have combat all the time. One of my favorite world things, as people who will play with me know, is that in this world there is something called the Iron Winds. And the Iron Winds are basically insane nanobots left over from one of the previous worlds that have basically turned into tornadoes and go around trying to seek out what their purpose is.
So they're like terraforming nanobots that have gone nuts.
Well, not all of them are terraforming. There was the one that you were in. The original purpose of the nanobots they were food synthesizers, but then they went crazy, and so they were a tornado that turned everything it touched into meat.
Oh yeah.
Like
See, and
ribeye.
we had just the opposite in mind, where they came through and anything that was remotely organic was just gone.
Stripped away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It
I
was
mean,
a
you
hell
can
of a
hit.
way to start the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you
You
learned
are
how to
now.
problem solve, though, didn't you?
Eventually, I mean, we had a whole. Yeah, no, we almost died. That was. We didn't know what
Almost,
to do.
Oh.
almost
Welcome
only
to
counts in
Cherryhill.
horseshoes and hand grenades.
You will die. You will die.
You will be.
Yeah, you.
Well, I want to
will
thank
be.
everybody for coming tonight. I don't
Yeah,
know if Wizard
absolutely.
is. I don't know if Wizard is actually with us, or if we have.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Okay,
paid
just
him for
checking.
a Gatorade bottle.
I do love that icon, though. Um, if everybody wants to tell us where they're going to be, what they'd like to plug, the fabulous Eraserhead, despite his, threatening of people who have pizza issues,
He's the one with the issues.
is
I'm okay with
is
mine.
is a wonderful mod, and we'll put links up as we go. So, Wizard, if you want to tell us where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, and anything else you'd like to plug.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Happy to be here and talk nerdy stuff. Love the role playing games. I hope to be in more of them soon. I've been dabbling with this idea in my head of like starting one. I just haven't had the time. Starting a new one. I really want to do a stream. It's been such a long time since I've run a stream, but it's a pain in the ass.
You sound like me. I have 3 projects I need to get finished, but I'd like to start this new one over here.
Yeah.
That's ADHD kicking in where, you're like, ooh, shiny squirrel.
Well, it's more like, oh man, I would love to
Where?
do all this fun stuff, and then at the same time, man, I hate YouTube. I want to delete my account. So it's like
It's a moral dilemma.
It's
The moral dilemma.
Very fine
it's like
line.
sometimes you have that like really bad job, and you have the script ready of like my resignation letter. I have this is my last video. I hate YouTube. I'm done doing this thing. I have it scripted, but I just haven't shot it. So until I shoot it, I'll still be around, and you can check me out over on YouTube, Real Life Fake Wizard.
Yeah.
Shameless
No,
plug.
monetize it on you.
What you ought to do is
Yeah.
shoot it now, and then 10 years from now, just
Look back.
play that one, and everybody why does he look 10 years younger?
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy
It's
is
all.
I treat it like, oh, this is my last. Like if this was the last time anybody would hear from you, what would you say? So with that in mind, I feel compelled to release it and then just not say this is my last video, but be just post it anyway and just keep going, because it's this is the hard facts that a lot of people can't handle when it comes to social media stuff.
So this is the wizard beard going away speech.
No, I would be done with the whole thing. I just don't know.
You should do one for the wizard. The wizard persona.
That gives me an idea. I'm just gonna start putting out a series of videos where I'm apologizing for things I didn't get canceled for yet.
Beat my wife.
It was I didn't realize I couldn't say that word.
Right. Yeah, but then you'd get the Twitter mob would try to cancel it, to go out of their way to find something on you.
Yeah.
A pre-canceled speech.
Yeah.
I think they're right. I think they're right, though. You better start with apologizing for the fact that somebody's going to clip the beating your wife bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go
That's
up.
pretty
I'm
funny.
gonna go upstairs. She's already gonna have 50 messages. What the hell, Sam?
Mine has already opened the door to the office and given me the evil eye because I was talking about her pizza choices.
Oh.
Yeah, right now.
Uh,
You like the maraschinos on the pizza? I'm done.
you go, baby. I was defending you.
Yeah.
It was an
Oh,
honor
she ain't
thing.
see it like that. I'm the bad man. Bad man. Said bad things about the pizza.
But
So
fun stuff.
you've been doing videos pretty much every day recently, haven't you?
I try, but YouTube is suppressing me super hard right now.
Really?
Oh yeah, from my
I
and it's not even like a lot of people say that. A lot of people, oh no, I'm blacklisted. I'm like, no, my analytics are showing me very clearly. I have very high retention. I have very high click through. I have very high engagement, but they're not showing past my subscribers. Like, whoop, dead. I see all my videos are dead. So, I mean, that would happen when you have a channel that is like predicated on saying corporatism is bad. Like, it was only a matter of time before I was censored. So, I don't know.
All
We'll
right,
see.
so everybody in the chat, go subscribe, because otherwise they're never
There you
ever
go.
going to allow you to
Never
see his
gonna-
videos.
Yeah. And you want to find out more about Pretend, right? So,
Oh, well, I would do
I
that
mean-
I would do that separately, probably.
so you're going to switch over to like Rumble or something?
Rumble is terrible.
I-
Don't do it. Don't do it until they get it figured out. It's a mess.
I've been doing this stuff for 5 years. I've watched too many people come and go. Like, a lot of people are just like seeing me for the first time, but that's like, I've been in the game for a while. There is no end. Like, there is what does victory look like? Can we define it? Not really. So I don't know. But that's like completely, totally different conversation for totally different time. But this
Just
whole
watch
thing
his-
is baloney. Like, you know?
Just watch his videos so you can listen to him say cancel Disney Plus.
Yeah, cancel Disney Plus.
Cancel Disney.
But only if we cancel Disney Plus could we achieve that.
Yes.
What they've done to Star Wars,
Those
right
things
there,
are related.
worth canceling.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
How to screw
So.
up my Star Wars? It's my Star Wars. God damn it!
Mine.
I do have to say, I
My
love the fact
childhood
that
and they can screw.
I love the fact that you can end with the same line all the time, and it always sounds slightly different and just as angry.
You know what's really funny is like a lot of my videos are performative. Like I get really angry and shit, and it's like a rant, and people are like, "You need to like calm down." I'm like, "It's an act. It's like I can chill. Like I'm down to chill. Like I'll hang out on streams. I'm not screaming on streams."
Just
Do
gets
they-
less
do they-
clicks.
Do
Yeah.
they not get that when you dress up as a fake wizard that
Yeah.
means this is a performance?
Like people are like, "Wow, buddy, you're like really. You look like a clown." I'm like, "Did you read the name? I introduced myself. I told you my name."
Real fake wizard.
That
It's a fake
beard
wizard.
isn't even real.
It's
You
like
don't even look like a real wizard.
it's like that looks so cheap. It's like that's the point.
Yeah,
That looks
Oh,
like
I'm not listening to this clown.
face.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Very fun. Yeah. Thanks, John.
Yeah. What?
John knows what's up.
I've been.
But yeah.
Now you need to sue. You know, you need to sue for pain and suffering and trauma.
I mean, obviously you're a real wizard because your background changes all the time and you're obviously teleporting.
Right. There's no Gatorade bottle on his desk. We know it's not real.
No.
All right. What else have we got? Who's got stuff to push?
Push. There you go.
Yeah,
Pretend.
you don't do YouTube, but
I don't do YouTube. Not at all. Nobody wants
Any-
to know what I do. Maybe 10 years ago when, I was doing high threat security, but those were good stories. But now, Jesus, all I do is, enforce OSHA regulations on job sites. It's real horrible. Don't do it. Don't do it. Even if the money is good. OSHA bad.
I seriously think you should just have a channel where you like tell your security stories though. That would be a riot.
Oh yeah. Right.
yeah, that would be cool.
Right. Back
Just
in
like
the day.
just do a podcast of like, I'd been awake for 36 hours on this job and
Yeah. My record is 52 and a half hours on duty. That's excellent. These are the reasons I don't do this anymore. So, when the 14-year-old skater kids blew up my left eardrum, that was a good one.
didn't
When
you?
I get attacked by a guy with nunchucks. Yeah, I got 12 hematomas up and down my left arm before I had to throw him face down on the ground. That was a good one.
Oh, geez.
See?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Those are
just
good.
ought to have a channel where you like talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that stuff so people know that.
Chasing people through the Ewok villages. By the way, that's the homeless camps. Where they hide out in the woods and they build these tent monstrosities. We call them Ewoks. So I'm gonna get
I
canceled
have-
for that.
I have a
He's gonna get canceled before he starts.
My future YouTube channel's already been demonetized.
There you go. There you go.
I literally have a background here of the Bright Tree Village from
Yeah,
Star
I see
Wars, like on hand if I just move it. Like
you
normally
go.
it's the green screen, but
Except
Yeah.
homeless midgets. Can we say midgets on the wall?
well, we have
Probably
now.
not, but it's too
We're
late
due
now.
Probably not. Too late.
Eclectic Goat has
We'll
no
find out.
monetization anymore.
Good thing I'm not monetized.
When they're canceling Sammy, we'll find out.
Yep.
Gone. Sad face. Sad face.
All right, Sammy, where are you gonna be? What's going on?
My name is Sammy Threepeat. I have a YouTube channel every Sunday evening at 9 o'clock. Me and Eclectic Goat invite other people in the pop culture circle to not talk about pop culture things, but to decompress and talk about stupid shit people have done all over the world. And there's no shortage of that. I also have a Batman podcast on the way. I'm thinking it's going to be early February. I could drop it now, but there's a couple minor tweaks I want to make on it, and just been sitting on it long enough. So that'll be called Cavecast. You could also stop off at Sammy's Pizzeria. I have a new pizza called the Oathbreaker. And, blow your mind. But yes,
it'll
make
blow
your
up
way
your
over
mind,
to
that's
my
for sure.
channel. Maybe click that like button, subscribe.
into
It'd be greatly appreciated.
Hell yeah.
The in other news is basically like Florida man except everywhere.
Yeah. Well, because it was funny too, because I've been on all these, I've been in YouTube for months and months and months before I started making my own content. So I have all these well-established creators, and they're like, well, you should do a show. And I was like, well, what am I going to talk about? It was like same shit that Critical Drinker said or that Nerdrotic said. It was like, oh, okay, so why don't we just come on? And I was like, oh, there's a guy who had sex with an alligator down in Florida. Your thoughts? They're like, oh, you don't want to talk about Stellar Blade? No. Tell me about the Florida thing. Come on.
Back to you.
Yeah.
I mean, the second show we were on? We got to talk about Mike Tyson's ass.
Oh yeah. That was glorious.
It was great. It was
And
hysterical.
then it just evolved into me like making fun of Creed, and I don't know. We're starting to get lore. We're only on our 13th episode, but it is a lot of fun. It's never the same. I mean, there are repeat offenders who like to show up, but yes, anytime there's a stupid celebrity look-alike contest in Central Park or a bat beauty contest, or it was like you never know what you're gonna see, like that wonderful man in Portland who was running around putting googly eyes on all the statues, and people were
that
getting
was a
mad.
riot.
I mean, we really do find ridiculous things, and Goat keeps me honest. I have some repeat expert panelists, but for the most part, I just try to have different people on where they're like, "Oh, you got to pick your panels." So it was like, no, we're all adults. We can all work together, and it's been a lot of fun, and people have been pretty receptive of it. So,
Big Ship points out that you do in fact have a number of friends of the channel.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Friend of the channel is that's definitely one of the inside jokes. I don't even know how that started, but it's
You started out with a couple of people who actually were friends of the channel, and then it just got increasingly over the top.
yeah, I think
and
one night
the headbang got increasingly harder.
yeah, to a point where like there's certain episodes where by the time I got done, my neck was sore. But it is a blast. Please stop by, and if not, catch it on a rewatch. I've yet to figure out how to make thumbnails that grab people, but like sometimes just making your symbol Mike Tyson's ass cheeks is better than
You need to talk to
anything
a
else,
marketing wizard.
Or
Yeah.
the
Marketing.
one.
I don't know about that.
The one
You
where
talk to
you
me, I'll get your channel suppressed.
I want you on immediately. I'm not monetized. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, you know.
the one where you put your symbol over the woman's face so nothing was showing but her cleavage did really well.
No, yeah. Well, for a while that was our highest viewed. I still
Hell
love
yeah.
that episode.
Hey,
That was when
Boots.
that was when what was her name? Lily Thomas, the one who wanted to have sex with all those guys in one day.
Yeah, yeah.
So the name of that episode was
Hey,
"Pimping
I'm
Ain't
gonna
Easy,
hang
but
on a
Hoeing
second.
Could Be Deadly."
Sammy, it's
Uh-oh.
apparently going to close us down now.
No.
Pretty much.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. Bye-bye.
bye.
Sorry, everyone.
Deuces.
Well,
Rock
Love,
on.
love.
Be well.
be well.
God bless America.